Welcome to Mindful Moments. Nourish your mind on the go. This audio uses AI narration to present our original book analysis. Today we're diving deep into Jack Kerouac's On the Road, a real pillar of the Beat generation.
Yeah.
We're talking free-flowing style, themes of freedom, adventure, and self-discovery, all set against the backdrop of post-war America.
You're absolutely in for a ride with this one. It's not just a road trip novel. On the Road is a real cultural touchstone. Kerouac manages to capture that restless energy, that yearning for authenticity, which still resonates with people even today.
Okay, so let's get into it. We have Sal Paradise, our narrator, hitting the road with the magnetic and wild Dean Moriarty. What is it about Dean that makes him so compelling?
You know, Dean is almost like a force of nature. He's completely driven by experience. He's not just talking about living life to the fullest. He embodies it. Like, you remember that anecdote about Dean's insane parking skills on page 7?
Yeah.
Pure Dean, backing up at 40 miles an hour into a tight spot, leaping out, and into another car before the owner even notices.
It's like he's defying the laws of physics and just societal norms all at once.
Exactly. It's that impulsiveness, that need to constantly be in motion, that rejection of convention. It's a real hallmark of the Beat generation.
So how does Sal get swept up in all of this?
Well, their initial encounters in New York really reveal a shared ambition to be writers, and they connect on this deeper level, wanting to create and express themselves authentically. The westward journey becomes their shared canvas.
Right, and then Sal's first solo trip west. It's almost like a sensory overload, hitchhiking, riding a flatbed truck with that diverse crew. It's a real kaleidoscope of Americana. But then there's this strange moment in a Des Moines hotel where he feels like he's losing his identity.
Yeah, that scene on page 13 is key. Waking up in that cheap hotel room. Sal feels totally disconnected from himself. He even says, I really didn't know who I was for about 15 strange seconds. I wasn't scared. I was just somebody else, some stranger. And my whole life was a haunted life, the life of a ghost.
Yeah, that's heavy. It's like the road has stripped away his familiar identity and left him with this raw, existential feeling.
And it foreshadows the self-discovery that Sal grapples with throughout the book. This journey pushes boundaries, both external and internal. He's confronting the question, who am I, outside of societal expectations? It's a core theme of the Beat generation.
Right, and then he lands in Denver, and it's like stepping into Dean's world. Bustling energy, Carlo Marx, other key figures. And there's this palpable shift in group dynamics.
Denver is where we see Sal caught between Dean's magnetic pull and the more grounded perspectives of others like Carlo. Loyalties are tested, alliances are formed and dissolved. It really highlights that tension between individual desires and the need for connection.
And then you bring in Dean's whirlwind romance with Camille, which has another layer of complexity. He's impulsive, passionate, always pushing the limits. Remember that scene where he rushes Sal off to find him a girl, even though he's supposed to be back with Camille at a specific time?
Pages 28-30 perfectly captured Dean's chaotic energy. He tells Camille he'll be back at exactly 3:14, as if that precision somehow justifies his impulsiveness. He's living in the moment, driven by desire, and it creates this constant tension in his relationships.
And Sal, meanwhile, is along for the ride, navigating this whirlwind of personalities and experiences, not always pretty, but definitely compelling.
It raises a crucial question. How much of ourselves do we compromise in pursuit of intense experiences? And what happens when those experiences fade?
Questions that Sal will have to wrestle with as the journey continues. Next, he finds himself in San Francisco, which brings a whole new cast of characters and a very different kind of energy.
Right, San Francisco is where we meet Remy Boncourt. Just a truly memorable character, infectious laughter, bizarre apartment furnished with stolen items, a real rogue.
Yeah, those stories about their escapades in the barracks cafeteria on pages 43, 44 had me laughing out loud, sneaking in at night, stuffing themselves with ice cream, living like mischievous kids.
Yeah, it's a lighter side to the story, showcasing that camaraderie and absurdity of their adventures. But even amidst the humor, there's a sense of desperation. They're working as security guards, living hand to mouth, constantly scheming. They're searching for joy in the margins of society, rejecting the conventional path.
Yeah, and amidst this, we see Sal struggling to write a story for Hollywood. It's a stark contrast to Dean, who lives life as performance art.
It is. Sal is more introspective, trying to make sense of his experiences through language, wrestling with his creative process, a classic struggle for any artist, really.
But the experiences aren't over yet. We've only just scratched the surface of Sal's adventures on the road.
Sal's journey southward with Terry, The young woman he meets picking cotton really adds a new layer to the story. It's a glimpse into the hardships of migrant workers, their struggles, and the fleeting connections that are forged amidst tough circumstances. A very different side of America than the wild adventures with Dean.
Yeah, it's a touching story, especially that scene on page 55, where they're sharing a simple meal of wine and bread by the railroad tracks, just finding solace in each other. It's like this reminder that human connection can offer moments of grace, even amidst hardship.
Absolutely. It highlights the diversity of experiences that Sal encounters. He's not just traveling through landscapes, he's immersing himself in different social realities, expanding his understanding of the world beyond his own.
Yeah, and then Dean bursts back into the picture, and it's off to New Orleans with Marilou and Ed Dunkel. Talk about a shift in energy. Dean's driving is described as a fury of decision, constantly pushing the limits, a stark contrast to the quiet intimacy Sal experienced with Terry.
Yeah, page 67 paints a vivid picture of Dean behind the wheel, dodging mule wagons, speeding, then suddenly stopping to contemplate the soul of an old black man passing by. This chaotic mix of impulsiveness and deep, almost philosophical reflection showcases how Dean absorbs everything around him. He's constantly searching.
It's not just a physical journey for Dean. He's searching for something more, something deeper. He even says, "Oh, man, the things I could tell you," as if his experiences are overflowing and he just can't contain them, almost like he's trying to grasp the essence of life itself.
And that's part of what makes him so alluring to Sal. He's a catalyst for self-discovery, pushing Sal to confront his own limitations and embrace the unknown.
Right, in New Orleans, we meet Old Bull Lee, Dean's mentor figure, this eccentric intellectual with unconventional views and kind of a bit of a dark side. He seems to embody the Beat generation's rejection of mainstream values.
Old Bull is fascinating. Because of his approach to knowledge, he's not just an academic, he's a lived experience junkie. Like page 85 details his journey across the U.S. and Europe, always searching for the facts of life.
Right.
He's been an exterminator, a bartender, a summons server, and now he's immersed in the drug scene, studying it firsthand.
He even states that the ideal bar doesn't exist in America, arguing that something authentic has been lost. He embodies this disillusionment with society and seeks something more raw and real.
That ties directly into the Beat generation philosophy, the rejection of conformity, the embrace of the unconventional, Old Bull with all his flaws. It's a powerful example of that spirit.
And his relationship with his wife, Jane, is another intriguing aspect. They have this unusual dynamic, talking all night, with Bull dominating until he gets tired. Then Jane takes over as he listens.
Almost like they've created their own language, a communication beyond words. It speaks to the depth and complexity of their bond.
Their home becomes a gathering place for Dean and the others, creating this chaotic energy, drug use, philosophical discussions, a constant feeling that something is brewing beneath the surface.
And New Orleans is also where we see Dean unraveling. His manic energy turns destructive. He pushes away those closest to him, caught in a spiral of self-destruction.
Even Sal, who's been so supportive, starts to distance himself, recognizing the destructive patterns, the inevitable heartbreak that follows Dean. Sal is beginning to see the darker side of this quest for ultimate freedom.
It's the tragedy of Dean's character. He has this immense capacity for love and connection, but constantly sabotages himself, chasing something that always eludes him. The search for meaning can lead down a dark path, if not grounded in self-awareness.
Their final encounters are poignant. Dean is slipping away, a ghost of his former self. Sal is left with the memories of their shared adventures. The joy and the pain intertwined. It makes you think about the lasting impact certain people have on our lives, even after they're gone.
It speaks to the transient nature of their connection, the inevitable parting of ways. But the impact of their journey on Sal is undeniable. It's shaped his worldview and forced him to confront difficult truths about himself and the world around him.
He's been changed by these experiences, forced to confront the complexities of human nature and the elusiveness of true fulfillment.
Yeah, it feels like Dean is always looking outward for that fulfillment,
Yeah.
But Sal is really turning inward, trying to process, everything he's seen and experienced through his writing.
Exactly. And remember that scene in San Francisco where he's holed up in that shack, trying to write that story for Hollywood.
Oh,
He's wrestling with his craft, trying to capture the essence of his experiences.
Yeah.
But it's not coming easily.
Right. It's like he's grappling with those same questions that plagued so many writers,
Yeah.
How do you translate lived experience into art? How do you make sense of all the chaos and find meaning in it all?
And it's so interesting to contrast Sal's approach, which is very introspective, with Dean's outward energy.
Yeah.
Dean is all about action and movement, living in the moment.
Yeah.
But Sal is more contemplative, trying to understand the deeper significance of his experiences.
Yeah, he's not just along for the ride, is he? He's actively processing, analyzing, searching for his own truth.
It makes you wonder if Sal's journey would have even been so transformative. Without Dean in the picture,
Right.
would he have pushed himself to break free from societal expectations and embark on this wild adventure?
Yeah.
In the first place,
That's a great question. I think Dean served as a catalyst for Sal's growth, but ultimately Sal's transformation is his own. He chooses to engage with the world, to observe, to learn, to challenge his own assumptions.
so he's not a passive participant.
No, not at all. He's actively shaping his own journey of self-discovery.
And in the end, isn't that what On the Road is all about?
I think so.
It's about finding your own way, defining your own values, and embracing the messy, unpredictable nature of life.
Totally. It's rejecting that idea of a single prescribed path to happiness and forging your own way, even if it means veering off the beaten track.
Yeah.
It's a celebration of individuality, nonconformity, that search for authentic experience.
And it's a message that continues to resonate with readers today. I mean, we're still grappling with those same questions of identity, purpose, and the search for meaning in a world that's constantly changing.
Yeah, and that's what makes On the Road a timeless classic. It speaks to the universal human desire for freedom, for connection, for experiences that shake us to our core and force us to re-examine our place in the world. It's a reminder that life is a journey, not a destination, and that the greatest adventure is often the one that we take within ourselves.
For anyone who's ever felt that pull of the open road, that yearning for something more, I highly recommend taking this journey with Sal and Dean. On the Road is raw and honest, and ultimately a hopeful exploration of what it means to be alive, to seek, to grow, and to find your own way in the world.
And remember, the journey doesn't end when you close the book. Take those insights, those questions, those sparks of inspiration, and apply them to your own life. Explore, challenge yourself, connect with others, and keep searching for your own truth.
If you're ready to hit the road with Kerouac, you can find a link to purchase the book in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into thought-provoking literature. Until next time, keep nourishing your mind.